Good morning. Today in this lecture we are going to start with chapter 5 of BNS. Chapter 5 relates with offense against women and children. Previously in IPC, these sections relating to offense against women and children were scattered everywhere. What now in BNS they have done? They have brought all the offenses against women and children and they have given the priority and made it chapter 5. Chapter 5 is having sections 63 to 99. Section 63 to 73 relate with sexual offenses. Section 74 to 79 relate with criminal force and assault against women. Section 80 to 87 relate with offense relating to marriage. Section 88 to 92 relate with causing of miscarriage, and 93 to 99 relate with offenses against child. I'll repeat again. Section 63 to 99 are in chapter 5. They relate with offense against women and child. 63 to 73 sexual offenses, 74 to 79 criminal force and assault against women, 80 to 87 offense relating to marriage, that is matrimonial offenses, 88 to 92 causing miscarriage, and 93 to 99 offense against child. Now we are going to start with the sexual offenses, that is section 63 to 73. Section 63 is the definition of rape. Now in IPC itself, the definition was extended by making amendments and now it is been brought in BNS as section 63. Previously it was section 375. Okay. Now what the definition states, that a man is said to commit rape if he does certain things. Those are 4, that is A to D. Means when a man is said to commit rape if he does these 4 things against her will, without her consent, those are 7. Means 4 things, either of the 4 things are being done by a man against a woman in the 7 circumstances, that is against her will, without her consent, and with her consent but if she is put in fear and all. So while remembering the definition, we have to consider this first, that 4 things either or are being done by a man in the 7 circumstances against a woman, that is called as a rape. Okay. Now we'll see all the things. A man is said to commit rape if he first penetrate his penis to the extent into the vagina, mouth, urethra or anus of a woman, or makes her to do so with him or some other person. This is the first. Second is inserts to any extent any object or a part of the body, not being the penis, into the vagina, urethra, anus of a woman, or makes her to do so with him or some other person. Third is manipulates any part of a woman, body of a woman, so as to cause penetration into vagina, urethra, anus or any part of the body of such woman, or makes her to do so with him or some other person. This is third. And the fourth is applies his mouth to the vagina, anus, urethra of a woman, or makes her to do so with him or any other person. Means A to D. These things, if he does it or compels her to do it with him or some other person in certain circumstances, that will be called as rape. Now first these 4 things are there. Under the circumstances falling under the following 7 description, means the 4 things are being done against her will. Second is without her consent. Third is with her consent, but when her consent is been obtained by putting her or any other person in whom she is interested in the fear of death or hurt. We'll take an example here. That was a case where a police officer, he had arrested her brother and he compelled the woman that he will kill the brother or else she has to give consent for sexual intercourse. So she had to give the consent. So here her consent is there, but that is not a free consent because that is affected by fear of death of her brother. Therefore, this will not be called as a consent. This is third. And the fourth is with her consent when the man knows that he is not her husband and that her consent is given because she believes that he is another man to whom she believes herself to be lawfully married. Means when the man knows that he is not the husband of the woman, but the woman feels and considers that he is her husband, therefore she gives consent for the sexual intercourse, then also it will be called as rape. Fifth is with her consent when at the time of giving the consent, because of unsoundness of mind, because of intoxication, because of something has been given to her, stupefying thing has been given to her or unwholesome substance has been given to her, because of which she is unable to understand what she is giving consent to, what is the nature and the consequences of the act for which she is giving consent, then also it is not a consent. If such thing happens, it will be called as rape. With or without her consent when she is under 18 years of age. And the last, seventh is when she is unable to communicate consent, when she is unconscious and all. Okay, when she is unable to communicate consent, and at that moment those four things, either or the four things are committed by a man on a woman, then that will be called as rape. We'll just revise. A man is said to commit rape if he does those four things in the circumstances that the things are being done against her will, without her consent, with her consent, but she is put into fear of death of herself or somebody else in whom she is interested. Fourth is with her consent where he knows that he is not the husband, but she feels that he is the husband. Because of that she has given the consent. Next is with her consent when she is not able to understand for what she is giving a consent, because either she is unsound or she is intoxicated or she has been given some unwholesome or stupefying thing, because of which she is not in her sense. Okay. Next is with or without her consent when she is under 18 years of age. Means if intercourse takes place with the consent of a girl who is below 18 years, that will be called as rape. With or without her consent when she is under 18 years of age. And the last is when she is unable to communicate consent. This is the definition of rape. Now here, what do you mean by consent? Consent means a voluntary consent where the woman by her words, by her gestures, verbal or non-verbal, though both are included here, if she is telling the willingness to have the intercourse, that should be called as a consent, which should be, you can say in other words, which should be very much free, provided that when a woman is not resisting, physically resisting at the time of rape, it does not mean that she has given the consent. It has been clearly mentioned, provided that a woman who does not physically resist to the act of penetration shall not by the reason only of that fact be regarded as consent to the sexual activity. Therefore, physical non-resistance does not mean consent. Now section 63, which is defining the offense of rape, it is itself providing for two exceptions. First is a medical procedure or intervention shall not be called as rape. And the second exception is sexual intercourse or sexual acts by a man with his own wife, where the wife is above 18 years of age, then it is not a rape. Means marital rape will be an offense only if the wife is below 18 years of age. These are the two exceptions for rape. Now, one case is there which is clearly stating that when a girl is below 16 years, her consent is immaterial. That case is Bishnu Dayal versus State of Bihar. Now here it is mentioned like 16 years, but now in BNS it has been clearly mentioned that if a girl who is below the 18 years, with or without her consent, if rape takes place, then it is an offense. Okay. One more case is there, State of Uttar Pradesh versus Babul Nath. It clearly mentions about the penetration. To complete penetration of the penis into the private parts of the victim is not material. To constitute the offense of rape, it is not necessary at all that there should be complete penetration with a male organ with the emission of semen and rupture of hymen. So, partial penetration, slightest penetration in that 7 circumstances will amount to rape. Okay, today we have seen just the definition of rape. In the next video, we'll see the further sections. Okay, bye bye. See you in the next video.